That's a wrap for AREC 2023, and I've got to tell you, it was probably the best AREC I've ever been involved in. I want to just replay what actually happened. We started on Sunday with Reese Witherspoon, who was an absolute gem, a professional. She pressed the button on the minute the video started and she knew she was on. And what was inspiring about her is, in Hollywood, you think that people just make a living being in front of a camera. She runs a company, it's got 120 people, it's a big media company, a production company, and she was extraordinary. And she spoke about the importance of boundaries. And when you set boundaries in life, you're able to train other people on what you expect of them. We then moved on after Reese and we had Ryan Serhant. And Ryan spoke about the importance of being the person today that you want to be in the future, to act and behave in a way that you have already achieved your goal. Because when you do that, what actually happens is the people around you are going to act and behave in that way, and things will show up. Yes, it's a little bit like fake it till you make it, but I think deep down, if you can imagine what your life is going to look like in 3 years, and then you act and behave as that person, the magic will happen. We moved on, and then we had Madison Sutton, who works at Ryan Serhant's business. And Madison taught us all one thing: don't worry about perfection. Don't let perfect get in the way of better. And in social media, it means that you don't have to worry about whether your hair looks great, or you're too skinny, or you're too fat, or whatever the excuses we give ourselves. All we know is that people love the authenticity and vulnerability of imperfection, and that's what she spoke about. Quick tip, just follow her. She is the New York agent, Madison Sutton, and you can see what she posts. We then had Tom Ferry, who did 2 sessions, and he was extraordinary. Spoke about lead generation day 1 and mindset on day 2. The absolute GOAT, absolute GOAT. Then we had Kate Ashton, and she spoke about transforming your life. A woman from Ballarat that lost 45 kilos, did 100 sales after spending most of her life being overweight and making 10, 20 sales. And for me, what she was all about is possibility. Think from possibility, not from probability. Think from imagination, not from memory, and make sure that your goal is bigger than your excuses. We also had Sean Hughes during that session, and Sean Hughes from WA, who writes $4.5 million in GCI, spoke about the importance of becoming an attraction agent, because sooner or later, if you want to be an effortless, lucrative, fun, sustainable, long-term agent, ELF, you're going to have to make sure that your brand becomes bigger than your prospecting. It might take 3 years, 4 years, but there's something great about people prospecting you versus you prospecting them. They come to you. We finished that, and then we had Sharan Sravista, who went from being a dumpster diving to building a $3.5 million business. And he spoke a lot about tactics, and I don't have the slides on me here, but we're going to get those slides for you. Lots of templates and messages to get appraisals. We went on from there, and in the afternoon we had Sarah Bell from CoreLogic RP Data, who talked about data and making data your best friend. Story sell, facts tell, on how to be a good storyteller and the power of story, which in our business is case studies. Probably one of the highlights for me of the conference was interviewing those 4 GOATs: Alexander Phillips, James Tostovan, Marcus Chiminello, and Phil Harris. They were outstanding, and what came out of that conversation was this: no need to reinvent the wheel, it's there, just make it better. That the formula and the template to success in real estate has long been worked out, and a lot of agents try and be different. You don't have to be different. You follow the formula and you improve on it, and that will get you to your final destination. The next day, on the Monday, which was today, of course, we started off with that wonderful interview that John McGrath did with Caitlyn Jenner about living your authentic life. Controversial person to have at our conference, a transgender person that's not worked in real estate. But what Caitlyn uncovered was, you know, she won the decathlon gold medal, and the importance of having dreams and saying to yourself, you know what? For 4 years, I'm going to drop everything and I'm going to focus on getting this goal. And she was outstanding. We moved on. Tom Ferry came on after her and he did his session on mindset. And then we had a great session by Susan Scott, who's the author of Fierce Conversations. And we know in our business, you've got to deliver bad news in a positive way. And what she did was explain there are things that you can do that can help you give people news they don't want to hear, but in an empathetic and respectful way. The main thing I got out of her was replace the word but with the word and. Because when a client is speaking to you and you say, yeah, I know, but, what you're doing is you're negating everything that person has said. The but means that I don't care about it. But when you replace the word with and, it means I understand you. Here's another view, however. So she was incredible. Amit Nayak, who then covered what he did to do 200 sales, went from chef to $3 million agent. And he talked about roles in his team, having swim lanes, accountability, and how he used the auction system. And by the way, if you haven't got the app Calendar to have your Zoom meetings, you need to do it straight away, because you can do in 2 hours, 8 vendor meetings, 15 minutes a meeting, all using Calendar. It sets up, falls into your calendar, creates a Zoom link. After that, we had Justin Nickerson, who was outstanding, a bit of a comedian. He's a great auctioneer from Apollo Auctions, and he spoke about the importance of the questions you've got to ask and the fact that real estate is a process. We meet people, we get feedback from those people, we give it to our vendors, we get them to accept the reality of the marketplace, and we repeat that cycle. Followed that was Shane Brocklebank, and Shane Brocklebank from New Zealand, the only Kiwi speaker we had, who was outstanding as well and also quite funny. The highlight I got out of his is the importance of not losing a listing over commission by defending your value. And he basically would say, if you can't sign it up there and then, you tell a vendor, hey, listen, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, I want to represent you. I'd like you to pick the best agent. If you think I am the best agent, when you are ready to make a decision, give me a ring and we can work on your listing for your home on a fee that you feel comfortable with. You propose the fee. A wonderful way to reduce friction in a transaction. From there, we moved on to our final session on the Monday, and that was Cindy Cash, a woman who joined real estate at age 49. She's 56 now. She's a grandmother, and she's writing $3 or $4 million, I think, in fees. One of the best real estate agents in the country. And we learned one thing: it doesn't matter what age you are in. The rest of your life can be the best of your life. And it doesn't matter whether you're 49 or 29 or 69. The bottom line is you can choose to have a future bigger than your past. And she gave every person there hope that it's never too late. And then the last two speakers, Kieran Breshenhan, who was the butcher, who became a real estate agent from the St. George area at McGrath, and he spoke about influence and longevity in our industry. And for me, what it was all about is, hey, listen, drop the mask, be yourself, people are gonna like it. Don't hide from your unique ability, run to it. And then the last speaker, who got a standing ovation, Ned Brockman, getting comfortable being uncomfortable, did 50 marathons in 50 days. And one thing that came out of that, trust me, the body can endure anything. We learnt that from him. It's the mind you've got to worry about. And that's a wrap. This has been Tom Panos at AREC 2023.